What is going on, fight fans? So today I'm going to give my prediction and thoughts on the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, the trilogy, the third fight. What am I expecting to happen? Without any further ado, this is Edward, and you're watching Boxing Fanatico. Okay, so this is a huge fight, and as the fight gets closer, the excitement is starting to build. I'm seeing people talk about it. I'm seeing, the outlets talk about it, and it's just getting more and more exciting for me to watch this fight. I'm incredibly excited to watch this fight. Now, how do I think the fight is going to go? So I always use whatever knowledge and information I have about the fighters to my advantage when I'm making a prediction or when I'm in my thoughts on how a fight is going to play out. The good thing about a trilogy is you kind of can know what's going to happen because you've seen it before. Every once in a while, though, somebody comes and surprises you and breaks that mold. For example, it did not happen with Manny Pacquiao and Marquez until the fourth fight, I believe it was the fourth or fifth fight. I don't know how many times they fought, but that fight was the same fight so many times, super close. You could give it to Marquez, but it always went to Manny Pacquiao until Marquez changed the narrative and knocked Manny Pacquiao out. That can happen here, but my prediction is going to be that Tyson Fury is going to still win and probably win by knockout, by a technical knockout. Now, the reason that I think that this is the case is we have to look at the first fight, the dynamics of that first fight, and the dynamics of the second fight. If Wilder doesn't get caught at all, then what we're going to see is something closer to the first fight. The issue with Wilder in the second fight, why it looks so dominating by Tyson Fury, and no, I do not believe in any of the conspiracy theory stuff. I don't even care about that. No. Why it looked so dominating was because to me it appeared that his equilibrium was completely shot. His balance was gone because it appeared that his eardrum had popped. Blood was coming out of his ear. It was swollen. You could see it was swollen within that eardrum area. And your ears, believe it or not, are what help you maintain balance. So I think that when that eardrum popped, Deontay Wilder had no balance. So from that point forward, he wasn't Deontay Wilder. He was Deontay Wilder that had no balance and could fall. The wind can push him over, and he's gonna fall. So, and I don't think he was ever gonna recover during that fight. So, for them to throw in the towel, I think that was a good decision. The first fight, though, Deontay Wilder was not out on his feet, but he also wasn't effective. And there was nothing he was doing that was getting to Tyson Fury until, of course, he was landing that right hand every once in a while. And then, of course, that super right hand that he landed that dropped him for a very long time. Like, he got up at 9. And that was risky because a lot of referees will end it right there at 9. They'll say 8, 9, 10, that's it. But they gave him an opportunity, maybe because he was kind of winning the fight in terms of the referee's perception of what was going on. And that's the reason why they let him get up. But also, you could tell that Tyson Fury was a little bit more tentative. He was a little bit more tentative and worried because no matter how much trash he talked about Deontay Wilder, there is no way around the fact that he has probably one of the most powerful one-punch KO powers that you have ever seen in your entire life. So he knew that existed. He knew that he could get caught and lights out could happen immediately. He knew that. So he was tentative. He was fighting him, but he was fighting him with a little bit of hesitation. Once he felt the power, he absorbed the power, he understood the power, he knew how it felt and what he would feel from getting hit with that power. In that second fight, he went in guns blazing from the start, which is what allowed him to get those hits in, which is what allowed him to rock Deontay Wilder. Now, if Deontay Wilder doesn't get rocked, I'm going to say that the fight will probably still end up being him KO'd, but just maybe take a little bit longer and not as dominating as it was when he had no balance, obviously. It's going to roughly be what the fight was before he lost his balance. It's going to be what the fight was in the second fight before he lost his balance. Not the first fight, because the first fight was a nervous Tyson Fury worried about the power. The second fight was a Tyson Fury that was no longer nervous, that already had done this rodeo and was willing to go ahead and engage and counter Deontay Wilder. So that's what we're going to see. And because of this, my prediction is that Tyson Fury will win by knockout, either a technical knockout or knockout. Don't want to put a round on it, but definitely Tyson Fury will win. If not by knockout, it's going to go to a decision. He's going to win it. But I'm leaning towards a knockout because he already has him kind of solved. Also, he's gained a lot of weight. Supposedly, he's coming in 20 pounds heavier than he was in the last fight. And that could be very difficult for Deontay Wilder because he's a lean heavyweight. He's not one of those big, super big heavyweights. He's a lean heavyweight that has a lot of power. And that could affect them in terms of when they're grappling, when they're in those clinches. That weight could take a lot off of him. So I'm thoroughly expecting Tyson Fury to win this fight. And that is the Boxing Fanatico prediction. Tyson Fury by knockout, technical knockout, sometime during the fight. What do you think about my prediction, and what is your prediction for this fight? The cool thing is both of these guys are in ESBC, so we could get to redo this fight virtually once the game comes out. Let me know. I would love to also see a Tyson Fury versus Usyk fight. That would be amazing. But also, if you think about it, the styles clash of a Deontay Wilder versus Usyk, that would be amazing. A technical fighter going up against a fighter who has immense power, and that person has to be the matador avoiding that immense power. I think that will be, if any one of these two guys win, I think that would still be an enticing fight to see versus Usyk. With Tyson Fury, it will just be who's the actual best fighter, world heavyweight champion, unified, undisputed, who's the best, because if he beats Wilder, he would have no loss on his record, nor would Usyk. And if Wilder wins, it's a redemption story, and we get to see a styles clash of power versus technician. So either way it goes, it's going to be good for boxing moving forward. That's all I have for you guys today. And of course, as always, I'll see you in the next one.